Well, our office is a policy and governance office, and as opposed to a lot of other CIO offices where they're service delivery. And so we get involved in lots of things besides modernization. And one of the things that we've been working on, and I think we're starting to win the battle of hearts and minds with the people that we govern, is to make better decisions in the IT realm. I think that we're starting to look at, every time we have a decision, making sure that we take all the facts and put them together and make the best decision, not only for the agency, but for the state as a whole. And when you do that, it ends up having us make the best decisions for the people of Alabama as well. Well, I think that we have made meaningful progress toward achieving our objectives of making the state more effective, more efficient, and safer from a computing standpoint. And I've got an example I can give you real quick about that. We, through an executive order, took over the administrative governance of a project in the health and human services space that was over budget and way behind schedule. And we think that that is a model for how the state should govern projects in the future. And so some examples of things that we did there, that project was under-resourced. It's kind of the kiss of death for IT projects to be under-resourced. So we increased staffing by 5x, increased the budget by 1.6x, and then brought in the right framework to govern it, both from a program management standpoint, from a project management standpoint, where we have the project being run on a schedule, it has the right metrics, and also, and most importantly, it has absolute transparency. Well, we'll continue to have a substantial focus on cybersecurity and make sure that funding in that area is adequate and that we, make computing as safe as we can, with a particular emphasis on the things that are usually what trip people up there, making sure that our employees are educated and that we only run supported software. And then also, we're going to continue to try to make more progress in this whole realm of making better decisions. And then last, and certainly not least, because of the fact that this is probably going to dominate, the next, 18 months, really from October 1 of this year, is we'll be putting in new ERP software. And so there's something either significant that's going to happen very soon after October 1 of 15, every few months, getting ready for that. So we're going to be very busy with that over the next year and a half. Well, the biggest challenge we have in Alabama right now, and it's not unique to IT, is funding. We've been running government in Alabama off contingency funds since the previous administration, and it's time for us to stop that. Our office is a great example. We need to have 9 people to run our office at full efficiency and full effectiveness, and we're at 5 now. And that's very difficult, and it's a big lift for us. And what happens when you're understaffed like that is you tend to live your life in the tactical world, not the strategic world. And the strategic world is where a lot of the bang for the buck is. Yeah. Well, I tell you what the wrong way to do that is, and that is for people to look for our office to come up with all those creative ideas, because that won't happen. Whenever you see something that's really innovative, look for a small group of people that are motivated and can operate in an entrepreneurial way. So we have to find a way for, me saying the phrase entrepreneurial way not being an oxymoron in state government, okay? So we're going to have to work on that. But I do think that it is to create an environment where people are encouraged to come up with, great ideas. I think part of that is when people do come up with great ideas is for us to get out of their way, us being, the leadership, and let people do things that are creative and innovative. And I think that there are a lot of people in Alabama that are of that mindset, and I think we have a great opportunity for us to do things that are going to be quite innovative as we go forward, particularly once we get the right platform in place for us to do things like this new ERP software that's going in later this fall. Well, we sent a delegation of people to the National Governor Association Cybersecurity Summit in San Jose earlier this year, and that was a great event for us because it made people that normally don't talk to each other day to day talk to each other. And so it's kind of jump-started us toward a number of goals that were kind of on our plate, but we didn't have them on a schedule yet. And of course, probably the most meaningful one is to continue to do the things we've been doing where we have our employees be knowledgeable about what they should and shouldn't do. And the second thing is to go ahead and bite the bullet and fully adopt the NIST cybersecurity framework. We're operating on a previous version of NIST cybersecurity framework, and this new one is going to be a big step up for us. And that's one of the reasons why we haven't fully implemented it yet is the delta's pretty large, and so it's expensive. But we need to go ahead and set a date and try to accomplish that, and that's going to be a big deal for us. And then the last thing is to make sure that as we put in all this other technology that cybersecurity doesn't get left behind, that we continue to fund it at a level that makes us continue to be safe. I think the focus there is on how the federal government can collaborate with state and local as a group, because of the fact that local and county and city governments purchase through the state, there's already a pretty solid relationship there. But depending upon the realm that you're talking about, the relationship between the federal government and the state could be disjointed, or it could be good. One of the examples things I would like to see happen, and it's not my idea, several U.S. senators have come up with this idea before, and that is to have funding at DHS be earmarked, probably new funding be earmarked for cybersecurity. Because cybersecurity has a hard time competing with body armor and cars and fire trucks and things like that. But also too, I think that flying is a great opportunity for us to have a dialogue amongst people and understand the who, the where, and the why that things are done. And I found in the past that things that didn't make sense to me made a whole lot more sense. I understood where they were coming from, and enabled us to engage in a meaningful conversation that led them better appreciating what we were doing.